It's time for the Nate Hawkins Show. Learn all about Heritage Hills basketball straight from the coach. The Nate Hawkins Show, exclusively on the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
So welcome back to the Nate Hawkins Show. Coach, last week you took on Boonville away, and you took Jasper on Saturday afternoon. You played them at home, and you came out a victor in both. And to start the month of February 2-0, why don't you recap both those games for us?
Well, it was a great week, Joe. For our guys, we talked last week. Just had not been doing the things necessary that we needed to be doing to win ball games. And I felt like in both of those games we were able to do that, and we took a big step forward for this group. And it was just really good to see, and even a pretty big step from that Thursday game against Boonville to Saturday against Jasper. I really felt like closing out the game against Jasper, we were a lot better. Jasper's good, and they continue to make plays all the way to the very end and put a lot of pressure on our guys. And I just felt like we made some free throws. I mean, we were 20 for 22 from the line, shot 58%. We were attacking the rim. Just did a lot of really good things. And what can I say? I mean, our two freshmen, Peyton Gray and Jake Pryor, were really, really good in that Jasper game, shooting the basketball, but they also made some big defensive plays throughout the course of that game too, and so they're really growing up, and their development has really made our basketball team even that much better. So, it was a great week. I mean, anytime you can win two games, that's what we've been striving for. We kind of treated that as like a double weekend, even though we had the day in between there with the girls sectional. But we that was a goal, and our guys were able to prevail and find a way to get two wins.
And, researching this show, it's always great to be friends with Dave Mosby, because everything Heritage Hills he knows all about. And he's the one that told me that on Facebook that I think you guys had 8 threes, and
yes,
none of them were by your top three-point shooters.
Yes. Well, and that's what's great about Dave is, he does, he's very informative and, really does a great job of promoting our kids. And he's right. I mean, our 3 top 3-point shooters didn't make one in that game. And it just shows you, I mean, Colton Hope really stepped up, hit 3 threes. Unfortunately for Colton in the Jasper game, he would play, then he would get whistled for a foul. So he was in a little bit of foul trouble. But man, when he was on the floor, he was really good shooting the basketball for us. When him and Peyton and Jake, and along with all of our other guys that shoot the ball as well as they do, when they're all clicking, it allows us to stretch the floor, and then obviously that opens up things for Trent as well. But just what a great team win. Both games. I thought we shared the ball well. I thought the ball moved. and guys delivered, and that's what it's all about. So we just taking another step forward as we get closer here to March and getting ready for the tournament. That's obviously what we're playing for, and it's all about getting better every day, and that's what our guys did, and now it's on to our next challenge, and it's all about getting better this week.
And speaking of Trent, I know that Trent would be the first person to give a lot of credit to his teammates. But have you ever had a sophomore score 1,000 points?
Well, the quick answer to that, Joe, is no. No, he, as we've talked many a times, and I've told a lot of people, Trent's he is a special talent. Really knows how to score the basketball, but what sets him apart from so many people is just his ability to do so many things so well, whether it's shooting the basketball, whether it's his back to the basket game, whether it's passing the basketball. His defense is improving. I mean, he's just getting better each and every day. And I tell people that, I'm like, yep, Trent's getting better. And they're like, really? And because I think they're just so used to, his greatness that he shows every single day. But he's still got areas that he's working on and getting better. And it's just encouraging to see that, because we obviously want Trent Sisley to be the best complete player whenever his time is done here at Heritage Hills, and he's getting there. But man, oh man, how special is it to be able to score the way that he can, and already past the 1,000-point mark here in this sophomore season. And then our next home game, we'll have a little presentation. I got a special ball for him that we'll present to him for that great accomplishment, as we've had some others here in my time that I've been here. That we've celebrated a few other kids, Murray Becker and Simon Sherry, and then obviously Trent's brother Blake as well. So it's just it's a heck of an accomplishment, and it just shows all the work that these guys put into it. They get rewarded for it. So very proud of him.
And on Fridays on our website, we always put statistical leaders down. And I'll tell you what, the thing about Trent is I noticed this the other day when I was updating the website. Trent Sisley's names in a lot of other categories other than his scoring.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Joe, and that's a part of us. We want to build him into a complete player. We want him to be ready to play defense at that high level. I mean, statistics show, deflections and steals and block shots and different things that he can do. The way that he rebounds the basketball. I mean, he's got to be up in the top in that area. He's almost, I think right now he's maybe just a shade under 10 a game. But for the longest time, he was averaging a double-double. And that's really impressive, for any kid. But, man, for a sophomore, that's special. So, I think you can go down the line and you'll see it, obviously, at the end of the season when the record books and stuff come out. But he's going to be in there for even this season for the most complete player award that goes out at the end of the season.
And I know dunks is not a category, but the amount of dunks I've seen already this season by him, and even back to 8th grade, he's got to lead the area in dunks. He gets to the rim. I mean, he's one of the best finishers you're going to see. I mean, and one of the areas that he is so explosive is in that open floor. I mean, he gets in that open floor. I mean, he did it the other day against Boonville, and I just shook my head. I mean, he's coming at him, and all of a sudden he ends up on the other side of the rim, and he's on it. But when he's coming at you, I mean, he's a load to handle, and just a great finisher every time. And we'll be back on the Nate Hawkins Show right after to our sponsors. You're listening to the Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Buzzford Communications.
You dream it, we create it at Street Dreams. Custom paint, fabrication, stereos, wheels, tires, and more. We're also your authorized Sinister Sound dealer. Street Dreams, 317-624-1000, where you expect quality and...
At MAD, we believe in zero. Zero fathers who aren't there for bedtime. Zero mothers who miss the first day of school. Zero children who never come home. We believe in zero victims of drunk driving. With MAD, your support adds up to zero. Because we believe in a hug on the first day of school. We believe in another bedtime story. We believe in no more victims. We believe in zero.
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
Hey everyone, Joey Chestnut here, world champion competitive eater. I follow Southwest Indiana Sports Network, and if you're hungry for sports, you should follow them too.
Follow the Southwest Indiana Sports Network at swisportsnetwork.com or search Roku for our channel at SW Indiana Sports Network.
And welcome back to the Nate Hawkins Show. And we're joined by the voice of the Heritage Hills Patriots on WAXL, Steve Kolb. Steve, how you doing today?
I'm good, Joe. How are you?
Good. I'll tell you what, for as long as I can remember, you've been a part of WAXL and Heritage Hills. And how many years have you been doing this?
This will be the How Old is Steve segment of the show here. I've been doing this, it's funny, I just went and figured this up before the football season. I always consider the start of the school year, the start of the athletic year, or my year, however you want to say it. So this is the start of my 20th full year. I finished up a football season when I switched radio stations and came over to WAXL, and so I did about 2 or 3 football games at the end of whatever the season that was, 97 maybe. It was Jade Winchell's senior season, and they lost in an ice bowl to Indianapolis Chittard up at Indianapolis North Central. Still, I think, the coldest game I've ever done, and I was inside. It was still that cold. But anyway, that was the first few games, and then, of course, I did basketball and baseball and softball that year. But then the following year, which would be 98, would have been then my 20th since then. So, yes, and been doing this quite a while at WAXL. It's been a lot of fun.
And, speaking of Jade Winchell, earlier in the season, we had the opportunity to interview him. He coaches middle school basketball at Heritage Hills, and he said he has kids that are fast. And he goes, they're faster than me. And I was like, that's pretty dang fast.
Yeah, I think that there's some folks at Heritage Hills that are looking forward to his kids getting older and getting into high school, and I think one of them's an 8th grader, and I think those two will make their mark at Heritage Hills. Not going to try to put any pressure on them, but I think a lot of people looking forward to seeing what they can do on the athletic fields.
In your years at covering Heritage Hills, what are some of your favorite storylines?
Oh well, I was still fresh into it when they won the football state championship back in 2000, and that was such a special team because and for obvious reasons with Jay Cutler, but there was so much talent on that team around him. That team, they weren't big, and I think that's why a lot of people around the state didn't think that team could win a state championship, because they weren't physically imposing. But they were, strong guys and a huge amount of talent. And then Jay was just at another level. I mean, he saw the game kind of before it happened, and watching him set up some plays just because he saw what was going to happen before it happened was a lot of fun. And then the basketball season, unfortunately in the COVID year, it was such a bittersweet end to that season, but that was such a magical team. And Simon Sherry playing basketball was a lot like the way Jay Cutler played football. Simon was seeing things on the court before they happened, and so much talent on the basketball floor with those 5 guys, and they played so well together, with Blake Sisley and Murray Becker and Cole Sigler and those guys. So those are the 2 teams that immediately stand out, but there's been a lot of really good teams. And, of course, in girls basketball, with what Abby Wall and Becca Gordon and Hadley Litton have been able to accomplish there, they've made Heritage Hills Lady Patriots basketball a whole lot of fun here of late. So, there's been a lot of fun things at Heritage Hills over the years.
And, there's 4 games left of the season, and Heritage Hills just beat Jasper 64-61 last Saturday. Why do you feel about the Patriots going into sectional?
It's such a young team, freshmen and sophomores mostly, a couple of seniors playing, and they make I don't want to say they make the mistakes, but they have the inconsistencies that young teams have, and that's what Nate Hawkins and his guys are battling all year long. But you see the continual strides being made, and the last 2 games for Heritage Hills were really big strides because that was a Boonville team that they had to have a furious rally to beat back in the PSC Holiday Classic over Christmas break, and Trent Sisley had to hit a really difficult 17-foot running floater, jumper, whatever you want to call it, to win that game, to beat a Boonville team that was playing at that point as well as anybody around. They were so good at that point. Now they're a little bit different team now because one of their young guys who was playing so well and so on fire from 3 isn't playing as much varsity ball right now. He's working on some things with his game and playing half JV and half varsity. So it's made them a little bit different a team, but they're still very good and very dangerous. And Heritage Hills had a lead on them going to the 4th quarter, and Boonville really rallied and started hitting 3-pointers, which they can do, cranked up the defensive pressure, and Heritage Hills struggled with that for a while. But then in the last minute or so, regrouped and found a way to finish that game and pull it out and win it by 4 or whatever it was. That was a big step for those guys because there were some times here recently where they hadn't been able to finish out games. They managed to find a way to finish that one out, and then to come back 2 days later against Jasper. And Wildcats are physically strong. They're veterans. They're big, bulky bodies, and they're very well coached. John Gable does a great job there, and they execute his game plan very well. And that turned into, as Heritage Hills came back from a bad start, Jasper got up to a great start, was red hot from 3 early and got up 8-0, and then was up at least 10, if not 12 points in the first half. And Heritage Hills came back, got within 2 at halftime, got a lead late in the 3rd quarter and led much of the 4th quarter. But that kind of turned into a possession-by-possession game in the last half of the 4th quarter. And so, you would think that the younger team, that would be a disadvantage to be in a possession-by-possession game, but they handled that, the Patriots did, very well and made a lot of plays down the stretch, were very good on the offensive end, got some stops, hit free throws very well in that game. I think I had them 20 of 22 from the free throw line in that game. And so they, it's just another sign of growth from this young team. And as my outstanding broadcast partner, Michael Cruz, said in the postgame show, he said, that doesn't mean that they won't turn around next time and go right back to being the young team with the flaws that we see sometimes, because as somebody much smarter than me or you or anybody else said, progress isn't always linear. It doesn't go straight up. The line of progression doesn't go straight up at a 45-degree angle. There's dips and valleys and big steps forward and small steps backward, and lots of things in there that, it's why it's frustrating for fans and it's frustrating for the players and the coaches to go through a season with young players. But, you see the growth and, but from one game to the next, you just have to see how it'll go. And it'll be interesting. They'll have a week in the gym to get ready. They'll have to go to a very, very tough place to play this next Friday at Forest Park, Beekler Arena, one of the tougher places around to play. One of Nate Hawkins' former assistants, Drew Messmer, is the coach there now. And I saw Forest Park once this season and saw them maybe at close to their very best. They shot nearly 70% from the floor on their home floor against South Spencer. Managed to lose that game. South Spencer's an incredibly mentally tough team that stayed in there with a team that shot that lights out and found a way to win that basketball game up there. And that's why the Rebels are on top of the PAC and undefeated in conference play at 8-0, I think now. So, but Forest Park has the capability of being a very, very good basketball team. And they showed it the night I saw them, and I expect that I'll see that effort from them again this Friday against Heritage Hills. Those two teams so close together and a lot of interconnected families there, so that's always a rivalry game of sorts, and ought to be a fun time up at Beekler Arena on Friday.
Well, on Facebook, I'm friends with Dave Mosby, and he knows all Heritage Hills. And I think I read today that I think Heritage Hills might hit 7 or 8 threes, and I don't think any of them were by their top three-point shooters in that Jasper game.
Oh, that's true, and that was huge because what Coach Hawkins has decided is his two talented freshmen, Jake Pryor and Peyton Gray, have been splitting time between JV and varsity up until this past week. And then starting with the Boonville game, Coach Hawkins and his staff decided, let's just go ahead and make those guys full-time varsity players and give them more varsity minutes and help keep guys fresh, lengthen that bench a little bit. And that's been one of the focal points for Heritage Hills is, getting the other guys to, be willing and to step up and because Trent Sisley obviously draws so much attention, double, triple teams. Other guys can be open, and when Trent draws that much attention and has the ball, he will find guys that are open. He's as good a passer as he is a scorer. And so it's been up to those guys to keep moving. That's with young kids, high school kids, that's the danger, and that's what you have to get away from is what they want to do is stand there and watch the superstar go. And you can't sit there and watch him. You have to continue to move and cut and make yourself available, and he'll find you when you are. And so Jasper, like everybody else does, sends a double team at Trent Sisley. Colton Hope has been very good as a sophomore down low, and he's got really nice post moves and cuts well, and he's been scoring for them, so he's drawing extra attention. And Marcus Becker is known as a very good outside shooter, and so defenses pay attention to him. So it's the other two spots on the floor where guys really need, they need guys to step up and score, and they don't care, the coaches don't care who it is, but whoever's in there, they want to say, hey, step up when you're open, take the shot, and, knock it down. And this game, Peyton Gray stepped up and hit 3 huge threes, and then and finished with a career-high 14 points. And Jake Pryor in the third quarter hit a couple of big threes in a row, and neither one of those guys had shot the three well at all during the regular season in varsity action. They'd been pretty good in their JV minutes shooting from the perimeter, but in varsity they both really struggled. I think like 14%. Now that's low numbers. That's on 15 or fewer attempts or 10 or fewer attempts, depending on which guy you're talking about. But neither one had really developed confidence with that stroke in varsity games, and both of them stepped up and hit big shot after big shot. And the other thing that Peyton Gray gave them is some perimeter ball handling against Jasper's physical defense out on the perimeter and in full court, and he handled that very well. And that's big for this team because you've got the two veterans in the backcourt, and Charlie Brentlinger and Hunter Meredith. Although Hunter's a sophomore, he's played almost 2 full seasons of varsity basketball now, and Brentlinger's a senior. But to have that third guy when one of those guys needs a blow or is in foul trouble or isn't playing as well, it's great to have that freshman, and he is sort of, I think, looked at as maybe the point guard of the future for Heritage Hills. So for him to step up and have that kind of game was really big for the Patriots against Jasper, and his continued growth. And Jake's a 6'4". He's rail thin, but he's 6'4", and not afraid to get in there and try to mix it up a little bit. And his length creates some opportunities for him as well. So those two guys starting to play well will really help this Heritage Hills basketball team as they wrap up here the regular season in the next couple of weeks.
And, one thing I've been asking Coach Hawkins, I said with names like Prayer and Litton and Hope, I said, are you recruiting kids away from other schools that their dads played at other schools?
Well, I'd be interested to know what his response to that was.
He didn't make a comment, so he just laughed at me. So
I think I'll leave the same comment right there. I'll just laugh with you on that one.
Every week we try to have at least one Trey Litton reference, and actually I said that his son must jump like his mom because he doesn't jump like him. But but yeah, that's our Trey Litton comment for the week.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. Heritage Hills has Forest Park, Washington, Tell City, and Princeton left. They're all conference games, and as you said earlier, South Spencer sits at 8-0, and Heritage Hills sits 6-2. Does Heritage Hills have a chance of catching South Spencer? Do you think? I don't know who South Spencer has left.
They still have a couple of tough ones. They're at Princeton, and so that's their only road conference game remaining, and that won't be easy. The Tigers are a very dangerous team. They're very young, and they've proven that they're inconsistent too. So if when they're at home and playing well, they can beat just about anybody. So the Rebels will have to play very well up there to win. That's their next conference game, but it's not this coming week. Well, maybe it is this coming week. I think it is this coming Friday. I don't have the schedule in front of me, obviously. And then they've got 3 conference games at home after that. And 2 of those are going to be very difficult. They've got Southridge at home, Boonville at home, and then Mount Vernon at home to wrap up the regular season. So, yeah, there are some tests left for the Rebels. There's no doubt about it. And certainly Heritage Hills would need some help from the rest of the conference if they were to catch South Spencer at this point. And that's obvious, as the Rebels are 8-0 and the Patriots are 6-2. So all the Patriots can do is go and take care of the business in front of them, and then just wait and see what happens with the team above them and see if anybody can help them out, because they can't do anything other than take care of their own business right now.
And with WXL and Heritage Hills, you caught a lot of special moments. How special was it to be able to call Trent Sisley's 1,000th point?
It was. It was very special. Somebody that's I don't know. I want to start denigrating myself here a little bit. I didn't mention it on the air when it happened because I got so caught up in the moment. I forgot to keep track of when exactly his 1,000th point was going to be in that game. I knew that he was going to break it that game, and I know that he had just recently broken his older brother Blake's record for most points scored in a season in Heritage Hills basketball. And he's going to just absolutely obliterate that record because he still has, at least now like 5 games to go, and he's up over 530 points, and Blake was at 490 something. So, that he's going to set the bar so high on that record, it's going to take a long time for that one to be broken. But unfortunately, it'd be neat in the future to say, yeah, I was there and I saw it. It would have been much better if I'd actually remembered to mention it on the air, which is, been doing this for 20 years and still haven't found a way to be perfect at what I do. So we'll try to catch it next time.
And, a lot of quality calls by you. What's your next call?
Next call will be Heritage Hills and Forest Park on this coming Friday from Beekler Arena. Michael Cruz and myself. Should be a good one in the Pocket Athletic Conference.
Well, Steve, we look forward to a quality call.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
And we're back on the Nate Hawkins Show after these messages from our sponsors. You're listening to Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Bosport Communications.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
At MAD, we believe in zero. Zero fathers who aren't there for bedtime. Zero mothers who miss the first day of school. Zero children who never come home. We believe in zero victims of drunk driving. With MAD, your support adds up to zero. Because we believe in a hug on the first day of school. We believe in another bedtime story. We believe in no more victims. We believe in zero.
Hey everyone, Joey Chestnut here, world champion competitive eater. I follow Southwest Indiana Sports Network, and if you're hungry for sports, you should follow them too.
Follow the Southwest Indiana Sports Network at swisportsnetwork.com or search Roku for our channel at SW Indiana Sports Network.
And welcome back to the Nate Hawkins Show. Coach, I'll tell you what, Steve Kolb, Michael Cruz, I think the Heritage Hills people are probably pretty spoiled that have to listen on the radio.
Well, those guys right there, that's a couple of the best in the business. I mean, just very good at promoting and just our kids too. I mean, just promoting our kids and following us, and when you get on the air and you start listening to those guys, it gives you goosebumps, man. It gets you fired up. I don't get the opportunity to do it as much, but everybody that I talk to that's on the air, they're like, it's just the excitement that's in the air and when those guys are on the radio. So we're very fortunate to have those two guys doing our games and calling our games, and just love the way that they promote our program and our kids.
And this week you'll be on Friday night you'll be heading to Forest Park, and then next Tuesday you'll be playing at home against Washington. Why don't you preview both those games for us?
Yeah, I'll start. We do head to Forest Park on Friday night, Forest Park is they're just getting better, just keep getting better all the time. I mean, their guards, they got about 3 guards out front that are about as good as any guards in the PAC. I mean, they can drive it, they can shoot it. Hard to handle, and it's hard to keep them in front of you. But they're really good and just continue to improve. I know they've lost a lot of games early and pretty close games, and that was a big win for them, beating that Mater Dei bunch at their place last week. So you can see. I mean, all you do is watch it, and you see them improving and getting better. And it's going to be a big challenge for us to be able to go in there and try to slow them down a little bit. And we've got to be able to execute our stuff, and just kind of stick to the plan and stick to what we do, and make sure that we understand personnel and attention to detail, because those guys are they're pretty good. So it should be a great ball game, and it's always fun when both of us get together. So we're really looking forward to a game Friday night, and then next Tuesday we go to Washington comes to us. That's a makeup. It was originally scheduled for December 23rd, and then we had a little bit of snow and ice. So then it got rescheduled for the Tuesday February 14th at our place. So Washington is they just do what they do, and they do it well all the time. I mean, they force you to really play defense. They always have guys that can make shots, and you cannot fall asleep when you're on the defensive side with them, because somebody's going to hit you with a screen, and Bryson Knighting's going to hit a three on you. You know, I mean, that's just what they do. I mean, and so it's going to be and I think both games. I think these are great preparation games for the tournament for us, because their guards, both teams' guards, are really good, and that's an area that we've got to get better at is trying to slow down some of the other teams' better guards. So it should be a great weekend, and even into the early portion of next week. I mean, I know we're off on Saturday, but it should be a lot of fun, and I think our kids are looking forward to the challenge. And we'll go over and we'll play hard and see what happens.
And it's also going to be a fun weekend because on Friday night you get to play an ex-assistant, and then next Tuesday you get to play a legend. Coach against a legend. I mean.
That's right. Yeah. It will be fun, and it'll be fun to see, Coach Messmer, and Drew played for me at Forest Park, and then he was assistant coach with me at Heritage Hills for the last 3 years, and it's a great guy, great worker, loves the game of basketball, always has, and he's going to do really good things over there at Forest Park, and I'm really happy for him. And I just hope that our kids know how hard they're going to have to play to go in there against his team, because I know his team's going to play really, really hard. And so it should be a lot of fun. And then Coach Miller and I, we've done battle several times in over the years with my time at Forest Park, and he's been at Washington ever since I've been the head coach. But my time at Forest Park and my time at Heritage Hills, and we've always had some great battles. And and I'd call Gene a really great friend, and a guy that you can really lean on. If you ever have any questions, and we've kind of helped each other out through the years and stuff. But it's always better when you're not playing those kind of guys. But here it is, and our kids are going to be ready. They're going to play hard, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, Coach, good luck this weekend, and let's stay undefeated in February.
Well, that is the goal. I mean, just keep playing well, and I think we all know what we're playing for at this time of the year, and it's about getting better and making sure you're playing your best basketball this time March, and I think we're heading in that direction. So real happy where we're at, and we're looking forward to this weekend.
And you've been listening to the Nate Hawkins Show on the Southwest Media Sports Network, powered by Milligan Buster Communications. We'll see you next week.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
You dream it, we create it at Street Dreams. Custom paint, fabrication, stereos, wheels, tires, and more. We're also your authorized Sinister Sound dealer. Street Dreams, 317-624-1000, where you expect quality and